Good morning students, welcome back to online classes of digital communication. So in the yesterday's class we have seen about the Shannon-Hartley theorem on your channel capacity, or it is also called as, we have given three different names for that one: Shannon-Hartley theorem on channel capacity, then Shannon-Bound theorem, or it is also called as your information capacity theorem. Right, so actually I had discussed one more topic also, but due to I think poor internet connection or something, it got ripped off. So I have discussed a priori and posteriori entropy also in the last class, but all of a sudden it has ripped off up to 5 minutes or something. So I'll just revise once again that topic, and I'll also be providing you the notes so that you people can watch that one. So before we move on, I'll just want to revise what is actually Shannon-Hartley theorem, what it states that. So Shannon-Hartley theorem states that it is possible to transmit the information with some probability of the error, and the condition should be that the channel capacity should be greater than that of your information rate. So C should be greater than or equals to R. So that was your Shannon-Hartley theorem statement of that one. And in case if you are having information rate which is less than or equals to the channel capacity, then it is also possible to transmit the information without any error if noise is present. So you might not be having any kind of error in your information, but there is a possibility of getting some noise in your message signal, because you are transmitting your message signal from a particular channel. So obviously whenever you are transmitting your message signal through a particular channel, a noise will be added into that one. Fine. So that was about your what we call Shannon-Hartley theorem. Let's move on to the next topic that you are having. We have also seen there is a trade-off or a proper balanced communication between your bandwidth as well as your signal to noise ratio. By using the formula, we have also found that one. So your channel capacity formula was C is equals to B into log 2 of 1 plus S by N. B is the bandwidth of your particular channel, S shows the signal power, and capital N shows your noise power. So quickly I'll just revise about the priori and posteriori entropy. So if I'm pleased to make a note, let Xi be a symbol of input of the communication channel and Yi is representing the output, then the joint probability of these events can be given as P of Xi comma Yj. So the probability of occurrence of the symbol Xi, or the probability of occurrence of your input signal Si, is simply given as P of Xi, and that P of Xi is called as your priori probability. Okay, so that is nothing but your priori entropy or priori probability, means the occurrence of your input signal of that particular probability. Now if we go on for the next one, posteriori. So upon the reception of your output signal, that is Yi, the probability that the signal Xi is transmitted and you are getting the probability of Yi, then that particular probability is called as your posteriori entropy, and that will be given as P of Xi comma Yj. Probability of getting the Yj as an output signal when you are giving the input signal Xi. So that was a small brief explanation of about your priori and posteriori entropies. Now I'll show you the relationships between the different channels, or the probability relations of your different channels. I have listed 5 to 6 formulas over there, which will be very important for your problem solving there. So very first one we are having here, probability relations in the particular channel. Very first, the information. What is actually information? The amount of content or the data which is present in the message signal, which is having some valid point in that one. So that particular is called as your information. So and the amount of information can be given by using the formula Ik is equals to log 2 of 1 by Pk. Right? And next we have seen the entropy. The average information, as to calculate the average information which is present in the message signal, can be taken by using your entropy, and that entropy is given as H is equals to summation of K is equals to 1 to M Pk into log 2 of 1 by Pk, or it can also be given as H of X is equals to entropy of information rate. Correct? This is how we used to find our entropy. Now comes to the third point, that is information rate. This we have also seen, and we have also found calculated by using different coding methods, Huffman coding as well as your Shannon-Fano coding. algorithm. So where we have found the information rate, which is given as R is equals to small r into h of x, rate of information into your entropy. That is your information. These three are you are much more familiar. Now this one is your conditional entropy. When you are giving the input x and you are getting the output of y, where you are having two probabilities, then in that particular time the conditional entropy can be given as h of y by x is equals to minus summation of I is equals to 1 to m into summation of j is equals to 1 to m p of xi comma yj. So this is the conditional entropy when you are having two different symbols. Okay, then comes to the joint entropy. These both formulas are very important for your further topics where you have to solve the problems on this one. So this joint entropy can be given. Please to remember the equations and the symbols how I am giving. The h of y divided by x will be showing you the conditional entropy, whereas the joint entropy can be given as h of x comma y, and that is given as summation of I is equals to 1 to m into summation of j is equals to 1 to n. This is the number of symbols, the different symbols that we have provided, that can be given as p of probability of occurrence of two inputs xi comma yj into log 2 of 1 by p of xi comma yj. So this will be showing you the joint entropy. And in the last class we have seen about the mutual information, how we are going to calculate the mutual information. So that can be given as I of xi comma yj log of probability of getting the output when you are giving the input divided by log of your probability of input. So that if I terms of formula, if I explain that, then it will be given as I of xi comma yj is equals to log of p of xi by yj divided by log of pi. This is the input and this is the probability of getting the output when you are applying xi as an input. Fine. Now comes to the channel capacity. This we have calculated, and how you are going to find the channel capacity, it is given as maximum of your mutual information that is provided. So C is equals to max of I into I of x is to y. So this gives the maximum mutual information that is provided, that gives you the channel capacity. So I hope you are all clear with the relations what I have provided. These are the 7 formulas which are very important for the further problems that you have to solve. Okay. So next move on to the next topic. So before we move on, I just want to discuss one problem with you, which we have discussed about your binary symmetric channel. Okay, the binary symmetric channel, what is actually binary symmetric channel? How many kinds of channels we are having? Binary communication channel we have, then binary symmetric channel also we are having, then cascade channel. So for cascade channel we have seen one problem, example problem, that was clear I hope. And next we are going to see a binary symmetric channel example. A binary symmetric channel is said to be symmetric if the condition is p of y naught by x naught is equals to p of y1 by x1 is equals to p. Means probability of occurrence of two different inputs which are generating two different outputs, and they both the probability is same, then that particular condition or the channel is called as your binary symmetric channel. Okay. I will be sharing the link above there. So you people just go back to the binary symmetric channel once again. Do watch that one and do this problem. Okay. Given a binary symmetric channel with the p of xi is equals to, p of xi is equals to alpha and p of x2 is equals to 1 minus alpha. P of x1 and p of x2, both the inputs, the probability of inputs we have got from the question itself. Now you have to find the mutual information and channel capacity. What is the formula for the mutual information? I of x y comma yj is equals to log of p of xi by yj divided by p of xi, and this can also be found by using the formula, okay, h of y minus h of y divided by x. This is one of the property of the mutual information, okay, where you are going to find out the mutual information by using the entropies. So mutual information is also related to your joint entropy as well as the condition entropy. This I have told in the properties of the mutual information. Just go back to the class where we have discussed the mutual information. There you will be getting to know how you are going to calculate. Okay, properties of your mutual information. I will be sharing the link there. So here you have to calculate the mutual information as well as the channel capacity. As to find out the mutual information, the formula which is given as I of x is to y is equals to h of y minus h of y by x. What is this y by x? This is nothing but your conditional entropy. Just now I have discussed the formula, this one. Conditional entropy h of y by x is equals to minus summation of I is equals to 1 to m into summation of j is equals to 1 to m xi comma yj. So this is your conditional entropy, and by having this particular formula, how you will be calculating? If you are having two inputs, then it is given as xi yj into log 2 of yj divided by xi. Okay. Now this conditional entropy you have to calculate. Okay. Fine. By using this entropy you have to find. Now see the figure what you are having. This figure is very important. You are having two inputs and two outputs. And what is the probability of getting the output y1 when you are applying the x1? There will be two probabilities. Okay. If I am applying x1 as the input, I am getting two outputs. So what is the probability of getting that one? P of y1 divided by x1, that is one probability of getting the outputs from x1, and getting the second output P of y2 divided by x1 for getting the second output. So four probabilities I will be getting from this one. Okay. So P of x1 into P of y1 divided by x1 one probability, and P of y2 divided by x1 into P of x1 is the second probability of getting the output when applying the input of P of x1. So let's just simplify that one. See here, now conditional entropy is here P of y divided by x. How many inputs you are having? I is equals to 1 to m. How many channels you are having? How many inputs? Only 2. So you have to calculate for that 2 only. Okay. Now P of I is equals to 1 to 2 and summation is there, no? So you have to calculate now separately. Now I am applying minus P of x1 comma y1, means probability of getting the output y1 when applying the input x1, this one, into log 2 of, what is the output here, yj? It is y1 divided by x1. This is the first probability of getting y1 as an output when you are giving the input x1. Minus, again you have to give minus P of x1 comma y2, right? P of giving the input x1 and getting the output as y2. Now same conditional entropy you apply and get the answer here, minus P of x1 comma y2 into log 2 of P of getting the output of y2 when you are applying x1. This was the equation you have got from applying the input as x1. Now you apply the input x2. What is the condition that you will be getting? Minus P of x2 comma y1. Applying the input as x2, you will be getting the y1 as an output into log 2 of P of y2 divided by x1. Correct? Minus P of x2 comma y1 into log 2 of P of y1 divided by x2, first output, and second output is that minus P into x2 into y2, okay, x2 and here y2, right, into log 2 of P of getting the probability of y2 divided by x2. So this is the conditional entropy. If you want to give a particular equation, you can give over here. Okay. Now see what you are getting. Just keep an equation like this. Now just you have to apply this. P of xi comma yj is equals to, if you are having probability of getting output when you are applying one input as x, then what is the probability? P of yj divided by xi into P of xi. This you have got from the equation binary communication channel. Okay, go back to the binary communication channel and see how we have got this equation. Okay, this we have already discussed in the last class. I will be sharing the link with you people. We have seen the different kinds of channels. Binary communication channel, right? In that one we have seen binary symmetric channel also. So in binary communication channel, how you are going to find out the output if you are giving the probabilities. So that can be given as P of xi comma yj is equals to P of yj divided by xi into P of xi. Okay, this is the output that we have got. This is from binary communication channel. So in this equation you substitute this one. So what you will be getting here, P of x1 comma yj, if I apply P of x1 comma y1, so what is the output I will be getting here? Minus is same, P of y1 divided by x1 into P of x1 into log 2 of P of y1 by x1. Correct? I will explain it once again. Please do listen carefully. This is the equation. Make it as equation 1. Fine. Then after making this equation 1, what you have to do here, this equation we have got from the formula of your binary communication channel. It shows that probability of occurrence of yj as an input when you are applying the xi as an input, then you will be getting the answer of p of yj divided by xi of I into p of xi. So here this particular part I am replacing by using the binary communication channel formula. So what is this p of x1 comma y1 is replaced p of y1 divided by x1 into p of x1 into again same this part log 2 of p of y1 divided by x1. Now tell me this one p of x1 comma y2, what will be the output, what will be the input? By using this formula what I will get, p of y2 divided by x1 into p of x1 into again log 2 of p of y2 by x1. Correct? I hope you are clear with this part. Now third part, minus p of x2 y1, what you will be getting, y1 divided by x2 into p of x2 into same this part log 2 of p of y1 by x1. This is the third part, and comes to the fourth part where you are having the output y2 and input as x2. What is the formula that will be getting, minus p of y2 divided by x2 into p of x2, then same into log 2 of p of y2 by x2. This is the formula that you have got by using your binary communication channel. Now see the figure. What is the figure we have got? Up to here you are clear, right? I will just make some more small. Now it is clear. See, this formula is clear for you people. Now you got this particular formula by using the binary communication channel. What is the figure we have got? Probability of getting the y1 as an output when applying input x1. What is the probability here? 1 minus p. So what is, see here, probability of y1 divided by x1. This is probability of y1 divided by x1, correct? So that I am substituting by the value which I have got from the question, 1 minus p. 1 minus p into what is p of x1 of value that we have got from the question, that is alpha. Okay, I will take you to the question. See, with the probabilities we have given as p of x1 is equals to alpha and p of x2 is equals to 1 minus alpha, right? Now substitute these in the equations. So p of y1 divided by x1 is equals to 1 minus p into p of x1, what is the value, into alpha, into log 2 of 1 minus p again. What is log 2 of y1 divided by x1? That is 1 minus p. Second one, p into y2 divided by x1. What is y2 divided by x1? This particular part, p. So p into alpha log 2 of p, again same log 2 of p, minus p into 1 minus alpha into log 2 of p. 1 minus alpha, why we are getting this 1 minus alpha? P of x2 we are getting the equation here. So your p of x2 equation is 1 minus alpha. And the last part that we are having, p of y2 divided by x2. What is p of y2 divided by x2? This one, 1 minus p into p of x2 is 1 minus alpha into log 2 of p of y2 by x2 is again 1 minus p. Okay, just you have to substitute the equations which you have got from the questions. Now make the common terms which are very common. So if I take the common terms, and then I will be taking minus log 2 into p of p alpha, that you have to take from here, p alpha plus p minus p alpha. Just multiply this one. Okay, multiply this p and p alpha and simplify the equation, then I will be getting log 2 of p common, p alpha plus p minus p alpha minus log 2 of 1 minus p, okay, this one, and alpha minus p alpha plus 1 minus alpha minus p plus p alpha. Again by on substituting and calculating, then you will be getting this part, plus p alpha minus p alpha both will be cancelled, plus alpha minus alpha will be cancelled, minus p alpha plus p alpha will be cancelled. So what is the last equation that we will be getting? Minus log 2 p of p, okay, minus log 2 of 1 minus p into 1 minus p. So what is this formula of what it will be showing? P into log 2 of p, it is nothing but your entropy, right? P into log, that is your h of y, minus of 1 minus p into log 2 of 1 minus p, that is probability of getting the output y, and that is you are getting when you are giving the input x. So I will be getting h of y divided by x. So overall, now what you have to do, substitute this part in the equation. So the information rate can be given as I of I is to y is equals to h of y minus So what is the h of y by x formula equation that you have got? This equation you have to substitute here. Okay, sorry ma, this is the information. Here you have calculated the conditional entropy. Okay, this you have one of the part of your mutual information, that is h of y minus h of y by x. You make it as equation 2. Stop here. Go back to the mutual information formula. What is the mutual information formula? H of y minus h of y by x. H of y by x, what you have got? Minus p into log 2 of p minus 1 minus p into log 2 of 1 minus p. Substitute this one into mutual information formula. I is to y is equals to h of y minus of minus. This is minus. Again you got minus. Minus of minus is plus. P2 into log 2 of p minus 1 minus p into log 2 of 1 minus p. Clear? This is the mutual information that you have calculated. So what is the question you have to calculate? You have to calculate the mutual information. Along with that one also you have to calculate the channel capacity. What is the channel capacity formula? C is equals to max of I is to y. Correct? C is equals to maximum of I is to y. So that information or the mutual information is maximum only when the output of the channel, that is h of y, is maximum. Okay, when we can say that there is a maximum information in your particular channel or a message, when you will be getting the maximum of entropy, means amount of information is full in that particular message signal. So that's the reason we are saying that if the h of y is maximum, then the mutual information is also maximum. So for that, getting that particular point, we need that, we can say that therefore for equally likely inputs, your h of y is equals to 1. So we are having equally likely inputs here. So that's the reason we can say that h of y is equals to 1 here. So your maximum value, how much p of xi is 1. So we are substituting this h of y is equals to 1 here. So c is equals to max of I x is to y. This x is to y substitute here. So 1 into h of y plus p to log 2 of 1 minus p into log 2 of p minus 1 minus p into log 2 of 1 minus p. So overall maximum information C, channel capacity C is equals to maximum of your information rate. So formula, your overall answer will be C is equals to h of y plus p into log 2 of p minus 1 minus p into log 2 of 1 minus p. Okay. So you have to stop over here. Just remember, I have just I got a bit confused here. You have to stop here after getting the conditional entropy. Then you have to go back to the mutual information formula. Then you have to substitute this in the mutual information. So as to get the, for maximum information, your maximum entropy should be also maximum. So that's the reason that can be get by h of y is equals to 1. Okay, if it is maximum, then h of y is equals to 1. So your formula for as asked per the question, you got the information rate, okay, mutual information as well as the channel capacity, right? So I hope you are clear with this figure and the calculation part. Fine. So let's move on to the one more topic. First, today I'll give the introduction part of your next topic. In next class we'll solve the problem according to that. Fine. That is the example we have seen for your, which one ma'am? Binary symmetric channel. We have seen binary communication channel. Next topic we have seen binary symmetric channel, and we have seen a problem related to that one. And so before we have done the problem, we have seen the mutual information as well as the channel capacity, because for doing these problems we need these equations. And we have also seen the relations of the channel in terms of your entropy and conditional entropy, joint entropy. And the last topic here in this unit is your binary erasure channel. What is binary erasure channel? It actually, if a symbol is received and with an error, I'm sending a particular symbol through a particular channel, but in that one I'm having an error, not noise, I'm having an error. So it is just marked as an error and it is discarded. Again, retransmission is requested from the transmitter using a reverse channel till the correct symbol is received at the output. So that particular kind of channels are called as your binary erasure channel. So what this binary erasure channel will be doing, if I am providing, transmitter is sending a particular signal but along with an error. So what this binary erasure channels will be doing, they will be discarding that particular symbol again they will be sending back an acknowledgement to the transmitter by telling that there is a particular error in that particular symbol and you have to retransmit that particular symbol, and they will be acknowledging back the transmitter until and unless they are getting a symbol without any error. So these particular channels are called as your binary erasure channel. So here till now we have seen the binary symmetric channels or the cascade channels. They have direct communication with the output. If you are giving the x1 as the input, you used to get y2 as an output or y1 as an output. But here we are getting ye and an erase channel, which is telling or giving the request to the transmitter for the retransmitting of your symbol if there is a error in that particular symbol. So that particular channels are called as your binary erasure channels. So I'll show this part. So I'll see here. In this, if the symbol is received with an error, it is just marked as an error and it will be discarded. Again, the retransmission is requested from the transmitter by using a reverse channel. So here by using either from x1 or to x2, they will be using a reverse channel till the correct symbol is received at the output. So this particular kind of channel is called as your binary erasure channel, and the output can be given as P of y1 into y2 is equals to P of x1 into x2 of probability of getting the y1 as an output when you are applying x1 as input, and probability of getting the ye means erasable output when you are applying x1 as the input. Means what you will be doing, if you are having error, this output will be generated and again retransmission has to be done. So this is how you will be getting P of ye by x1 into P of y2 by x1. Again, probability of getting y1 as output when you are applying input x2, probability of getting this erasure output when applying x2 as an input, same y2 as an output and applying x2 as an input. So these probabilities are substituted with the values which we have given here. So these kind of channels are called as your binary erasure channels. It means that whenever a symbol is received with an error, so what they will be marked as an error, they will be discarded. Again, a retransmission request is given to the transmitter as to send the correct symbol without any error, and this will be done until and unless you got the correct symbol is received by the receiver. So these kind of channels are called as your binary erasure channels. Fine. So I'll stop the class here itself. So this was about your binary erasure channels, and regarding this particular topic, we'll do one more problem in the next class. Fine. So do practice well your binary symmetric channels problems what you have discussed today. In case of any doubts, please do let me know, and do maintain the running notes also. Okay, so I'll be sharing the links also along with the topics which I have discussed about binary symmetric condition, binary channels and mutual information. The two links also I'll be sharing. So go back to the class, just listen once and then do the problem. Okay, so wind up the class here itself. Thank you.